I drive, right? So I'm on the road a lot, and I see other cars on the road. It's come to my attention that there are two really, really ugly and common cars on the road. Now, look, I mean, ugly cars have always existed, right? If I look up right now, ugliest cars, you'll see some fucking disgusting, like, rancid looking, like, who designed this, right? Like, some weird looking cars. But these cars are uncommon. I mean, probably like 300 were made, and then the producer of the cars was like, damn, dude, these are pretty ugly and no one wants to buy them. And then they stopped making them, right? The cars I'm talking about are like mass produced. You've probably seen them if you live in America. Yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against the cars, right? They're just ugly to me. But let's get right into it. The first car that I think is super duper ugly, and I know this is going to be controversial, but it's the Cybertruck. The Cybertruck, it just doesn't look right, dude. I remember when the Cybertruck first released, and I looked at that, and it didn't even click in my head that I was looking at a car. I was like, what am I looking at? It looks like a unrendered object in a video game, right? It looks just weird. And it looks even weirder in person, honestly. I mean, I know people like this car, so this is like kind of a controversial take. And I've never driven the thing, so I don't know. It could be a great car. I've never driven it. I'm too broke to afford it. It does look futuristic, and it does look unique. I'll give it that, okay? I'll definitely give it that. But I don't think it's gotta look unique, bro. There's nothing wrong with how cars look, you know what I'm saying? They went a little too unique with it, if you ask me. But, whatever, man. I mean, if you like the Cybertruck, honestly, if you got a Cybertruck, fuck what I say, dude. You're rich. You don't gotta listen to me. I'm some brokey, bro. But the second car that I hate way more than the Cybertruck, if the Cybertruck hatred is at like 50%, my hatred for this car is like 100%. And it's the new USPS mail trucks. These gotta be the ugliest cars I ever seen. It don't even look like it's supposed to work. Who designed this? Well, I'll tell you who designed it. It was actually a military company. Like, this company creates like bombs and tanks and stuff, and they decided to just diversify, I guess, and make mail trucks. And I mean, it worked for them because they got a contract with USPS, and now every mail truck around America looks like this. And oh my god, it's so ugly. It is so ugly. Now, I actually watched a whole video about this truck from this channel called Half As Interesting, which I do love, by the way. I think if you guys like nerdy facts, you should check that channel out. It's great. But functionally, the car is pretty good, apparently. Like, you guys remember this truck, right? This is the old mail truck. Apparently, this mail truck was ass. Like, it was made in the 80s, and USPS just didn't want to like update their fleet of trucks, so they just kept this thing around. It didn't even have AC, so like mail drivers in like Arizona were like dying in the heat because this thing didn't have heating, and mail drivers up in like Minnesota or Maine were also freezing to death because this thing had no heating, right? I mean, they weren't actually freezing to death, but you get the point. It was probably not very comfortable in fucking negative 20 degrees giving out mail in this, right? Pretty much in all standards, this truck is better because it has heating. It's also there's just a bunch of like quality of life updates. Like, it's way more safe, all that, a bunch of great stuff, okay? But one thing they really missed the mark on is this car is so ugly. I mean, I guess it's technically a truck, but you get the point. Like, oh my god. It kind of looks like if you took like a sedan and then you just like stretched the top of it and then didn't stop stretching it, and then that's what you ended up with, right? It looks weird, okay? I don't know anyone who's looked at this car and said, wow, look at this piece of art. Look at this elegance. Like, no one's gonna say that when they see this car. But you know what? It's not supposed to look good. It's supposed to deliver mail. And that's why I'm not really gonna hate on it, But there's actually a secret third car I don't like, that I just remembered that I don't like. And it's those smart cars that were really popular 10 years ago, and they're still kind of around. I remember seeing these cars. When you're a kid and you go to like a shopping center, like Walmart or something, and they have like those little cars for the kids to drive. You know what I'm talking about? Sometimes I'm driving and the wind's really strong and it starts pushing my car. I have to like literally like repivot my steering wheel so I don't like veer off the road, right? And I drive like a sedan. So can you imagine trying to handle this thing with any amount of wind? I think a 200-pound guy could sneeze and probably tip this thing over, It doesn't look very sturdy. It also just looks ugly, right? It's just gross looking, dude. It doesn't look comfortable at all. I think if you're over the height of like 5'7", this thing's going to be uncomfortable to sit in, which means I'm good. I'm short as shit, but like majority of the population isn't going to be. And yeah, I mean, I can't speak to anything else on it. Maybe it's like the best, most luxurious car to drive, right? I don't know, but damn, is it ugly looking. I think that thing is so ugly, but those are some of the ugliest cars on the road, I gotta say. They look kind of terrible, bro. But if you drive any of these, more power to you, Especially if you drive that Cybertruck or if you're a mailman, you're doing good. Yeah, those are some of the ugliest cars in my opinion. If you like this video, Also, I got an email, and if you guys have any questions or want advice or anything of that nature, check out the email. Send me an email that, hey, I just failed my math test, and maybe I'll have some advice for you. I don't know, but I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.